I accidentally ruined my best friend's life. Here's what happened. I didn't wake up one day planning to destroy my best friend's life forever in a single careless decision. But sometimes the worst damage we cause doesn't come from hate. It comes from thinking we're doing the right thing. He trusted me with everything he had: his future, his money, and his belief that I would never betray him. And in one moment of pressure, fear, and bad judgment, I broke that trust in a way that could never be repaired. This is not just a story about a mistake, it's about consequences that don't fade and guilt that never leaves you. And the hardest part is knowing that if I had just chosen honesty for a single moment, none of this would have happened. The friendship. We grew up together, not just as friends, but as brothers who shared almost every important moment in life. From school days to late-night conversations about our dreams, we built a bond that felt completely unbreakable. We celebrated each other's wins, stood together during losses, and always believed we would succeed side by side. He knew my struggles, my fears, and the parts of me that I never showed to anyone else in the world. And I knew his just the same, which is why what happened later makes everything even harder to accept. We trusted each other without question, and that kind of trust is rare and incredibly fragile at the same time. Looking back now, I realize we thought nothing could break us, and that confidence made us careless in ways we didn't understand. The opportunity. As we got older, life started getting more serious, and we both wanted something bigger than average lives. We didn't want ordinary jobs or predictable routines. We wanted success, freedom, and something we could call our own. Then one day, we got an opportunity that seemed like it could completely change our future for the better. It was a business deal that required risk, commitment, and complete trust in each other's decisions and actions. We both agreed to invest everything we had, believing that together we were strong enough to make it work. At that moment, everything felt right, like this was the beginning of something successful and life-changing for both of us. We didn't think about what could go wrong because when you're chasing a dream, doubt feels like something you can ignore. The pressure builds, but success never comes easy. And slowly, the pressure started building in ways we didn't expect or prepare for. Deadlines became tighter, money became limited, and the fear of failure started affecting how we both thought. Small disagreements turned into tension, and that tension slowly started affecting how we communicated with each other. I began to feel responsible, like it was my job to make sure we didn't lose everything we had invested. Instead of communicating openly with him, I started making decisions quietly, believing I could fix things alone. I told myself I was protecting him from stress, but in reality, I was removing him from decisions he deserved to be part of. That mindset was the beginning of the biggest mistake I would ever make in my entire life. The decision. One day, without telling him, I made a decision that I believed would save our situation from collapsing completely. I signed a deal with someone who promised quick results, faster returns, and a way out of the pressure we were facing. The person sounded confident, experienced, and convincing enough to make me ignore the risks that were clearly there. On paper, everything looked perfect, and I convinced myself that I was doing the right thing for both of us. I told myself I would explain everything later when things improved and when I had positive results to show him. But deep down, I knew I was hiding something important, and that silence would soon cost us everything we built together. In that moment, I chose control over trust, and that single choice changed everything that came after. Everything falls apart. The deal didn't work the way I expected, and instead of solving problems, it created even bigger ones instantly. The promises turned into excuses, the timelines stretched endlessly, and the results we were expecting never came. We lost money, control, and worst of all, his name became attached to something that damaged his reputation badly. When he finally found out what I had done without telling him, the reaction was something I will never forget. He didn't shout immediately, he just looked at me with disbelief, like he couldn't recognize the person in front of him. And that silence hurt more than anger ever could because it showed how deeply I had broken his trust completely. In that moment, I realized that losing money was nothing compared to losing the respect of someone who trusted you fully. The confrontation. When he finally spoke, his voice wasn't loud, but every word carried pain, disappointment, and betrayal. He asked me why I didn't trust him enough to tell him the truth before making such a serious decision. That question stayed with me because I didn't have a real answer that could justify what I had done. I tried to explain my intentions, but intentions don't matter when the consequences destroy someone's life. We argued for hours, saying things fueled by emotion, things that neither of us could ever take back again. The more I tried to defend myself, the more I realized how wrong I had been from the very beginning. That conversation marked the end of something that once felt like it would last forever without question. The aftermath. After that day, everything changed between us in a way that could never go back to how it used to be. We stopped talking completely, and the silence between us became heavier with every passing day and week. Mutual friends stopped asking questions because even they could sense that something serious had been broken. He moved on with his life, but I could see that the situation had affected him in ways that went far deeper. His confidence was shaken, his trust in people was damaged, and all of that happened because of my decision. And no matter how much time passed, I couldn't escape the reality of what I had done to someone I cared about. Regret became something I carried daily, not loudly, but quietly, in moments when I remembered how things used to be. The realization. I realized something important that most people only understand after they've already made a serious mistake. Trust is not just about being loyal, it's about being honest, transparent, and respecting the other person's role. The moment you take decisions away from someone who trusted you completely, you break something permanent. It doesn't happen instantly, but once it breaks, it never returns to the way it was before. And sometimes, no apology, no explanation, and no regret is enough to fix what has already been destroyed. That is the hardest truth I had to accept, and it's something that stays with me every single day. Because living with the consequences of your actions is far more difficult than making the mistake itself. If this story made you think even for a moment, take it as a reminder to protect the people who trust you the most. Real loyalty is tested in hard decisions, not easy moments. If you want more real stories, powerful lessons, and content that actually makes you think, make sure to subscribe now. Because sometimes, one story can change the way you see everything. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.